Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the How to Renovate podcast. So in this episode, we are going to be talking about design decisions to make early. So in this episode, I want to cover 6 design decisions to make early. And the reason you want to make them early is because it's going to make your overall project run so much more smoothly. So let's get into the episode. As you know by now, everything I teach falls under my 5-pillar process, and the information in this episode falls under pillar 1, planning. Let's get into the episode. 6 design decisions to make early. So over my many years of renovating for both myself and for my clients, these are the 6 top things I suggest that you try and make the decisions early on in the process. I would say even before you even start the renovation, before your builders arrive on site, perhaps even before you speak to your architect. Really think about what you want from your renovation. Think about what you want your home to look like, how you want it to feel, so that you can then move forward into your renovation with a really clear picture of where you want to end up. So let's get started. Number 1 is style. So as an interior designer and a renovation consultant, nothing gives me a better idea of what someone wants from their home, the style they want from a clear and well thought out mood board. So to start working on your style, I really suggest you find 1 or 2 images. Don't have too many, because that could confuse things and bring in that decision fatigue and just confuse you when you're trying to make decisions throughout your project on materials and style. So I would say find 1 or 2 images that you really love and you would like to recreate or have something similar in your own home. And those are kind of your North Star. Those are going to guide your style decisions from now onwards. Another thing you can do is to create a style board. I have a masterclass on this. It's called How to Create Intentional and Strategic Style Boards. If you go to southplaystudio.com/masterclasses, you'll see all of my masterclasses there, and this one will be listed. Now, this masterclass will show you how to create not only a style board just for images, but something that is intentional, that will help guide your style, that will help you with your shopping list, that will help you make decisions. It will be a valuable tool for you to use throughout your process. So it's a paid for product, but you can go to the masterclasses, have a look there. If you do this, you will be able to have such a good guide on the style of your home and where you want to take it. And of course, you can do an overall board for your whole home. You can do one for each individual room. But having a clear style, whether it's an image or a style board or a mood board. So mood board and style boards are generally the same thing. People interchange the words. Having a style board that you refer to throughout the duration of the process and having an intentional one will help you make so many decisions along the way. It's going to be a great resource for you. So do take the time to make one, whether you take that masterclass or not. It's going to help you with this number 1 decision, which is style. So of course there are many styles out there. You could opt for something that's traditional, that's modern, that's Art Deco. You know, it's all up to your personal choice. It's up to your home. It could be led by the style or the character of your home. So use all of those things to help you tie down that style. And, you know, it doesn't have to be something that you see in a magazine. Perhaps you are one of these lucky people who have a really clear vision. Perhaps you're creative, you have a really clear vision of what you want your home to look like, and you can nail down your style really early on. But knowing what it is from the start is going to help you with your decisions throughout the project. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is storage. So you may think, why is storage a design decision? But it really is, because you need to think about it right from the start of your renovation. Plan it into the floor plans from the very beginning. I think one of the major things I can say here is do not plan your storage retrospectively. Don't let your home get built or your home get renovated without knowing where you're going to put all your things. Because otherwise, what is the point? If you have this beautiful home, everything's new, everything's great, everything's stylish, but you don't have anywhere to put your clutter, or you haven't thought about where to store your pots and pans, and so you're suddenly having to squish things into drawers or put things in a place that's not practical. So really think about storage as part of the design, because at the end of the day it really is, it assists the design, it assists the style by hiding everything you don't want anyone to see. It also helps with the practicalities of everyday life. It helps your home function well. So storage is a major one. Really think about this early on. And especially for built-ins. So plan those built-ins into your floor plans. Make sure you know where they're going to go, what they're going to store, and even freestanding items. So perhaps you have some items that you love already that you want to incorporate into your home when your renovation's finished. Make sure that you are planning to leave enough space for those. Make sure that your architect or your contractor knows the sizes of those items, because the last thing you want is to go to put, let's say, a really beautiful larder or chest or something in a place you had envisioned it to go, and it doesn't quite fit there. So that can be really disappointing. So just make sure that you have the measurements of everything you want to keep, or any freestanding items you want to include into your home. You can add those into your layouts and into your floor plans. I also have a masterclass for this, and it's called How to Do Easy Scaled Floor Plans. So before you even engage an architect, this masterclass will show you how to draw your own floor plans, measure out your storage. It uses a super simple formula so that you can yourself draw some accurate 2-scale drawings that will help you plan every single room. So do go and check that one out as well. It just gives you the knowledge to be in control of your own renovation and some of your own planning, because it's your home and it has to work for you. So then you can plan exactly where your freestanding items or your built-in items need to go. You can look at the items you currently have, everything that you want to keep that you need to store. You can measure those items, you can incorporate those into your drawings, you can plan where every single thing is going to go. You can measure how much wardrobe space you need, for example, how much shoe storage you need. Just don't leave anything to chance. It's all about the planning. So really plan your storage well. It's one of the top things that people want when they engage with an interior designer or a renovation consultant, is that issue of not having enough space or not having a place for everything, which is then cluttering their homes and cluttering their mind and making their home a frustrating place to be. So storage is really a key one to make decisions on very early on in the process. And then number 3 is lighting design. Again, such an important one to get right, and something really important to get right at the start and to plan at the start, because lighting is one of those things where when I go to do consultations, it's one of those things people are almost most frustrated with, because you need the lighting to be right to enjoy your home, to be able to do tasks within your home properly, like cooking, working, reading. You need the lighting to be in the correct places so that your home functions optimally for you and for those that need to use it. So lighting is really a design decision to make early, because once the builders start and the electricians are on site and they're running all the cabling for your new lighting, new positions of pendant lights, light switches, wall lights, if you haven't thought about this early on, that particular point in the build process can be really stressful, because they will want to know very quickly and they'll want quick decisions on where you want your lighting, exactly where you want your pendant lights, where do you want your light switches, how many wall lights, how many spotlights. And you can just imagine how overwhelming that is when there's so much already to consider during a renovation. So by making this design decision early and really thinking about how you're going to use every single room, every single nook, every single corner, where your artwork will be, if you want it lit or not, think about it all, plan it all, and write it down or draw it out as in as I just said, with those scaled floor plans, just have everything noted down on how you've thought about how you want to use the room and where you'd like your lighting fixtures and switches to be. And then, of course, a very important thing that will determine your lighting plan is your furniture placement. So again, this leads back to the space planning and the layout. Even at the early stage, think about where you want the furniture in each individual room to be, because that will then determine your lighting. If you imagine a dining area, for example, you need to know if you want a pendant light or a statement light fixture above your dining table, you need to know exactly where your dining table is to be placed and the chairs around it and the size of the table you may have there. Because if the electrician puts that cable elsewhere and goes through the trouble of installing an impressive huge lighting fixture and your table placement doesn't quite work underneath it, it's going to be a huge and expensive job to change the placement of that lighting fixture if you're unable to move the table to a different position. So you really do have to think about everything when it comes to lighting. It is one of the major things that you need to decide early on and have ready for when that electrician comes on site. I have created some really useful free information for you on this topic. So if you go to southplacestudio.com/freebies, you will find there a PDF download. So it's a resource on lighting. It's called 7 Things to Consider When Planning Your Lighting. It's got a checklist, it's got some examples in there. So if you're about to renovate, do go and check this out. Please go and check this out. It's really going to help you with your lighting plan and just really reduce those lighting decisions and stress on those as you move through your project. And the 4th design decision to make early is for windows and doors. Now, I've mentioned this before in the podcast, but windows and doors can take a really long time to come, especially bespoke glazed units. So if you're including any kind of specialized glazing in your project, like bifold doors opening up to the garden, any crystal style doors, picture windows, any kind of bespoke made aluminium frames or wooden frames, those can take weeks and weeks to manufacture. So really decide early on the style of windows and doors that you would like, whether that be traditional like wooden sash, or if you prefer aluminium so that you can change the color, let's say, or you could have a more modern style. So decide on the style of your windows and doors early on, right at the start of the project as well, because you will need to know what you want. So you will need to know the style of the windows and doors, obviously, before you even start exploring who you might use to manufacture them, which supplier you might use. So deciding early on the style of your windows and doors could help you make other decisions as you move through your project. So say, for example, let's say you've decided, because you have a traditional home, let's say you have a Victorian home, you've decided you want to replicate the traditional sash windows. So those in turn could then, for example, they could influence other style choices, like whether you have paneling in the room or what style of skirting or coving you might go for. You might copy some of the mouldings or the little details in the windows and carry those through into either the internal or the exterior of the home as well. So you can see how making that decision early on then helps you make other decisions later on. And moving on to number 5, which is flooring. Now, the reason you need to make your flooring decision early on is really to do with your floor levels. So if you've decided early on your flooring and you know the thickness of that flooring, that is then really good information for both your architect and for your builder to know how to construct the floors themselves. Let's say, for example, you've chosen a engineered wooden flooring to go throughout your home. So let's say in the bedrooms, but in the ensuite, right next door to the bathroom where the floors join up, you've decided you want a thicker tile. So let's say the wooden flooring in the bedroom is 1 centimeter thick, but the tiles in the ensuite that's going to butt up right next to it is 1.5 centimeters thick. So you won't have a lovely flush edge, a lovely flush finish going from the bedroom into the ensuite. And if the builder knows that and he knows your flooring choices and you have samples on site, he can accommodate for that. So where it's possible, he could potentially lower ever so slightly the flooring in the ensuite to be able to make the finish flush, or he might be able to somehow raise the bedroom floor where the wooden flooring is by 0.5 centimetre to make the flooring flush. So you can see here how knowing your materials early on, or knowing your flooring decisions early on, really will help that overall kind of seamless finish that so many people want in their homes. I find really that my clients really dislike it when they've put in all the time, all the money, all that design time into a project, and then to find that these little details aren't perfect. So this just gives you the opportunity. Now you know that if you're choosing flooring of different thicknesses, there may be a solution. Or let's say the contractor doesn't have a solution to adjust the floor levels to suit the floor finishes. What you could then do is make a different decision on one of those flooring types. So you could then go back and change your decision on the tiling and find a tile that is 1 centimetre thick as well. If that flush, lovely finish is important to you, you can then do that at the early stage. Whereas if you were deciding this later on and you're making the decisions when the builder was on site, you may not have the choice, or you may have already purchased the flooring and you may not be able to return it. There could be many reasons why that wouldn't be possible. So again, making these decisions early on is just going to help you get that amazing, really high quality finish that most people want. I've done a whole episode on choosing flooring. It's episode number 24. So go and check that out. It talks you through all the flooring types. If you're struggling with your flooring decisions, go and check out that episode 24. And we're on number 6, the final one in this episode. What you need to decide on early is taps and brassware. So this one I have spoken about quite a lot in the podcast over the episodes. And this is actually one of the things you need to decide on very, very early. It's one of the first material decisions you need to make, because when the builder starts on site, he or she will very quickly get to the stage where they need to put the first fix plumbing in. So the first fix plumbing is those parts of the taps, the showers that are installed inside the wall. So the parts you don't see. But they cannot install that unless you know which taps and showers and brassware you want to use. So that's why it's so important to make this design decision so early on, is because you'll be surprised how quickly they'll get to that stage. If you're building, let's say, a rear extension, the foundations will go in, the external brickwork framework of the walls will go up, then there might be some internal stud work and some insulation, and then suddenly the builder will be asking you for taps. And you might think, well, why are they asking me for taps if we don't even have walls or water yet? But at this point, when the plumber is doing the first fix and they're running the pipes to the positions they need to be, they need to install those hidden parts, the first fix items of your taps and showers into the wall. And then it's quite a long time again until you need the second fix parts, which are the pretty parts that you see of the taps, so the levers and the spouts and so on. So that's why you need to make this decision early on, because again, taps and brassware, I find, if you're choosing anything that's kind of a decent quality or in a lovely finish, they do tend to take a really long time to be delivered. I find they generally have a waiting time of between 4 and 10 weeks from order to delivery. So you need to know that from the start. If you know that your taps are going to take 10 weeks to arrive on site, and you know your builder's going to be asking for them pretty soon after they start your project, then you need to work backwards from that and make sure that they ordered in time so that they arrive when the builder needs those first fix items. So that brings us to the end of this episode, everybody. 6 design decisions to make very early on. I hope this was so useful to you. Making these design decisions will just make your whole project run so much more smoothly. So when you're about to start your renovation, do come back to this episode, have another listen, and make sure that you know those 6 design decisions that you need to make early on. Well, it's bye for now, and I'll see you in the next episode. For more information on my 5-pillar process for successful renovation, you can go directly to southplacestudio.com/pillars, where you'll find an introduction to the process which covers each of the pillars and what they cover. We also have a number of other free renovation resources. Go now to southplacestudio.com/freebies. I have created some amazing freebies for you there. There is one on the process, like we just said. There is one on planning permission. There is one on kitchen design. There is another one on lighting planning. Go and check those out. There's so much free information there to help you with your renovation.